Traditional fairy tale Heungbojeon. Heungbojeon is a classic novel written by an unknown writer and date. It is a novel of the late Joseon Dynasty and is called Heungbojeon Hall, Park Heungbojeon Hall, Nolbojeon Hall, and Heungboga. In the plot of Heungbujeon, his older brother Nolbu monopolizes his parents' inheritance and drives his younger brother Heungbu out of the house. Heungbu, who was kicked out without any money, had no choice but to live in poverty with his wife and children. And Nolbu was living in luxury on the property of his inherited parents. One day, Heungbu went to his brother Nolbu's house and asked his brother Nolbu for a penny because he had no money and food. But Nolbu's wife hit Heungbu's cheek hard with a rice-glazed spatula and kicked him out. Poor Heungbu returned to his humble cottage with puffy cheeks. One spring day, a swallow was lying injured in the yard of Heungbu's house. Heungbu felt sorry for a small swallow and fixed his leg, and the next spring, a swallow flew and gave Heungbu park seeds. Heungbu and Heungbu's wife planted a small gourd seed that the swallow had bitten on the side of the house yard, and in the fall of that year, the gourd was so open that the house collapsed that they borrowed a saw that turned on the gourd and started turning on the gourd. When I turned on the first gourd, I saw a flood of priceless medicinal herbs and precious alcohol. The Heungbu family, who was so surprised by this, then opened the second gourd. When I turned on the second gourd, countless different kinds of furniture and precious books poured out of the gourd, and in the third gourd, carpenters building houses and mountains of grain came out. And in other gourds, huge amounts of money and clothes such as brilliant silk, linen, and raimi came out of the gourd. And Heungbu's wife and Heungbu's children cheered and were happy. Nolbu, who heard this story, asked Heungbu for his secret when he heard that his younger brother Heungbu was very lucky. The good Heungbu told his brother Nolbu in detail, and Nolbu returned home in a short step. The following spring, Nolbu caught a swallow, intentionally broke his leg, fixed it, and received the much-awaited park. In the fall of that year, Nolbu's roof was filled with gourds as big as those on Heungbu's roof. Nolbu and his wife began to turn on the gourd with the joy that they could get as much wealth as Heungbu while looking at the large gourd. However, in the park where the Nolbu couple turned on, many strange men came out and took Nolbu's property, and in other gourds, monsters appeared and broke Nolbu's house and disappeared. And the next gourd overflowed with all sorts of dirty filth, leaving Nolbu's house in a complete mess. In one day, Nolbu became a poor man. Nolbu was punished like this for his endless greed. Although Heungbu was treated poorly by his older brother Nolbu, Heungbu, who was good-hearted, did not express himself and shared his property with Nol, and served Nolbu with intelligence and lived happily together. Rather than being greedy like Nolbu, try to have a heart of forgiveness and giving like Heungbu. And if you live well, like Heungbu, a lucky swallow will come someday, right?